We're through the first round of matches at Euro 2024 and are set for some really interesting encounters on Matchday 2. In Group A, Germany kicked the tournament off in style, thrashing 10 men Scotland by 5 goals to 1 last Friday. The front three of Florian Wirtz, Jamal Musiala, and Kai Havertz all got on the score sheet in the first half, before substitutes Niklas Fulkrug and Emre Can added two more in the second period. A late own goal by Antonio Rudiger provided some consolation for Scotland, who were reduced to 10 men after defender Ryan Porteous was sent off just before the break. In the other game in the group, first ever international goals from Kwadwo Dua and Michel Abisher gave Switzerland a 2-0 lead going into the break against Hungary. Barnabas Varga pulled one back for Marco Rossi's men 20 minutes into the second half to set up a grandstand finish. In the end, however, the fourth goal of the game went the way of the Swiss, with Braille Embolo netting his first goal since the World Cup in Qatar. The Monaco striker sustained an ACL injury last year and was making his first appearance for Switzerland since December 2022. On matchday 2, the two teams with 3 points apiece play the two teams on zero, with Germany facing Hungary and Scotland looking to turn their campaign around against Switzerland. Julian Nagelsmann's men got off to the perfect possible start against Scotland and have only positives to take forward into the game against Hungary at Stuttgart. The Germans were absolutely relentless, but Steve Clark's men didn't do much to make things hard for them. Hungary, on the other hand, had a very poor first half against Switzerland, but showed signs of life after the break. These were the starting lineups for the two teams in their respective opening games. On Wednesday, Germany are expected to dominate possession again, and Toni Kroos will be key once more. The 34-year-old, playing in his final tournament before retirement, completed 101 out of 102 passes attempted against Scotland. When in possession, Kroos drops back as the third centre back and looks for forward passes either between the lines or out wide. Both fullbacks, Joshua Kimmich and Maximilian Mittelstadt, occupy positions high up the pitch to make six players in the attacking third. For Hungary, Rossi made a change at the break on the right against Switzerland, bringing on Bendagus Bola for Adam Lang, with Attila Fiola playing the second half as the right-sided centre back. Bola for Fiola is more of a like-for-like change, and one that we could see against Germany. Either way, it remains to be seen how they press their opposition on Wednesday. Playing man for man against this technically excellent Germany side would be an ill advised risk, with the likes of Wirtz, Musiala, and Ilkay Gundogan able to create passing options with their constant movement. A 5-3-2 shape could be a possible option, but will Rossi drop one of his three attackers to play an extra central midfielder? The problem with that, of course, is that Hungary will have close to nothing in the form of an attacking threat. Captain and talisman Dominic Soboslai looked isolated for large periods in the game against Switzerland, and will find it even more difficult to have an impact on the game without either Roland Chaloy or Barnabas Vaga. Germany do tend to press really high, with Mittelstadt and Kimmich looking to pin the opposition wingbacks. If Hungary play it well, they could try and find spaces in behind in the wide areas. The hosts will be very high on confidence and will look to seal progression to the last 16 with another convincing win. For Hungary, avoiding defeat will be the priority before their final match against Scotland on Sunday. The Magyars are unbeaten in their last three matches against Germany, including a 2-2 draw in Munich at the European Championships 3 years ago. Steve Clark faces the challenge of turning his team's fortunes around after the hiding against Germany. Scotland were disorganized and sloppy in their opening game, and quite frankly looked unprepared. They weren't sure whether to press high or sit back, and ultimately ended up doing neither properly. In contrast, Switzerland were fantastic against Hungary and will want to seal qualification on Wednesday before their final group game against Germany. For Scotland, Porteous's red card and resultant suspension will see Norwich's Grant Hanley come into the back line. The midfield struggled to hold on to the ball against Germany, and Billy Gilmer could come into the side to address that. For Murat Yakin, there aren't too many reasons to make any changes. The movement of Ebischer into central areas from left wing back against Hungary caused a lot of problems for the opposition, with the Bologna man getting a goal and an assist. The three forwards, Dua, Dan Ndoye, and Ruben Vargas, will once again look to push the three centre backs back. Scotland also looked vulnerable to the ball in behind in their first game, and this is something that could come into play with the pace of Dua and Ndoye. Granit Xhaka is the orchestrator extraordinaire in midfield. The Swiss go into this game as massive favourites, and Clark will need 11 brave hearts on the pitch to keep the Scottish dream alive. The last time these two teams faced off in a competitive tournament was almost 28 years ago to the day back at Euro 96, also in a Group A match. On that day, an Ali McCoist goal gave Scotland a 1-0 victory at Villa Park. In more recent times, the only meeting between the two was in an international friendly at Hampden Park in 2006, when Switzerland ran out 3-1 winners.